Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Well, I did say it would be 2-0. I did say it would be 2-0, and 2-0 it was. Celtic, well, what could you say? What can you say about Yang? Tell me your thoughts on Yang in the comment section. Celtic had 19 shots on goal. They had 6 shots on target. They had 77% of the possession. Passes was a way up from the last game. They had 802 passes altogether. The pass accuracy was 89%, the fouls were 12, and corners were 12, and offside twice. Celtic now sit top of the table. It's minus 16 in Govan tonight. Make sure you wrap up. It's cold out there. This is a safety announcement. Wrap up warm. It's minus 16 in Govan. Thought Greg Taylor was amazing, said Dave Hislop. Yang is pushing my opinion. Yes, give me your thoughts on Yang in the comments section, because Nico Khun pulled up before the game, and he was pictured by Celtic Television. He was pictured by Celtic TV rubbing his thigh, and it's been suggested by Peter Grant, who knows a bit about football more than us. He said it looks like that he's pulled his thigh muscle, and it was the correct decision for him not to play the game. He might have felt it twinge in the cold weather out there, because it was minus 4 at Celtic Park tonight. He might have felt it with that. And it was the correct decision, because if it was a thigh strain or a hamstring and he pulled it during the game, he'd be out for up to 6 weeks. And that's what we do not want. So it was a precautionary thing to make sure that Khun did not play. But what does it say about our squad? Although we won 2-0, and it was convincing, but it was as convincing as it could be. They defended as I expected them to defend in a low middle section, a low block middle section type thing, where it made it hard for us to get past. Davy Boy 67 saying, aye, there's pish. Adam Ida, look at the way that they were playing, Davy Boy. They were playing very narrow, and when you've got our wide men could get past them all day long. They were giving us the width, but when you've got 4 players in the 18-yard box, it's very, very difficult. And I'll give Adam his due. He was getting man-marked against their big defender. Now, when you've got a bank of 4 and then another bank of 4 all sitting right outside an 18-yard box, and then you've got add the striker into the mix, it's very difficult. It is very difficult to play your way through that. They're not sitting with a back 5 that's spread out along the back of the box. It was a very narrow, compact team. Motherwell did it against us. Dundee United done it against us up in Dundee, and they thought they would try the same thing tonight at Celtic Park. Ultimately, it didn't win. It didn't work. Should I say, we managed to get a goal by Dyson Maeda, who got the parried ball from the goalkeeper that came out for the goalkeeper, and Dyson Maeda gets it into the back of the net. And then Rio Hatate with an overlap. Well, it wasn't really an overlap from Paulo Bernardo. He actually looked as if he was going to sort of let it sidestep him, and then he was going to turn around and try and kick it into the back of the net. But Rio Hatate get there first to smash the ball into the back of the net. Ultimately, it's a good night, but the downside of the evening is the big news, and we'll wait on Celtic confirming it, but Nico Khun did pull up with a thigh strain before the game. And for those who are of a nervous disposition, look away now, because the Celtic are way ahead in the league. Yes, Celtic are on 56 points at the top of the league, looking down on the Rangers. It's the only explanation that we have found. The form that we have found since... I'm not getting involved in singing the songs tonight against managers or back 4, or a left back, should I say. Rangers with a game in hand against Celtic are currently sitting on 40 points. Dundee United are on 34. Aberdeen are on 34. Aberdeen, what's happened to Aberdeen? Ian Aberdeen's disappeared for the charts as well, since they've done nothing, haven't they? And then Motherwell, they are on at 31 points, having played one game more than Celtic. Anyway, that is the top of the table. Looking down on, I've got to say, when the game kicked off, I'm watching the game with the missus and I'm thinking, where the hell did Yang come from? Where's Khun? I'm like, Yang's absolutely rubbish. Yang is absolutely rubbish, and it's about 10 minutes into the game, and I'm like, I need to go onto Twitter to make sure. I'm saying to the missus, I'm like, I've put the team up, and Yang wasn't on that team. And I swear someone is tapping to my stick at the front door outside. Ian was on last night, Baz. Was he? Was he on last night? I missed him then. Ian Aberdeen. Stop it, Baz. You're talking shite again. The truth teller. Oh, really? Is that the best you can come out with? Anyway. Cheers. It's minus 16 outside. Make sure you wrap up. Yang was excellent. Wow. Yang was excellent, says Carly. I had you on my channel, Baz. Did you, Kaiser? You had me on the channel? You never had me on. I'm sitting watching the telly. Sevco said they need to sell 2 players before they could buy one. Skint FC. Yang tried hard, but still a bit short of quality. Let's face facts. It shows the strength of the squad. It does show the strength of the squad is not what we think it is. We are not as good squad-wise as we maybe thought we were at the beginning of the season. When you look at, did I hear Martin O'Neill chants, Baz? There's your answer, Brendan. I did hear Martin O'Neill chants, did I? I did, didn't I? Ah, dear. Let's not make it political. Palmer looks better than Yang. That's something to say. The fact that Yang was put... The fact that Rio Hatate was brought in when Yang was taken off says it all to me. Whatever you say, Pish, I'll say was excellent. Carly's just on the wind. I'm going to give Carly a timeout. Do you think we should give Carly a timeout just for the sake of it? That's the mood I'm in tonight. Yang's worse than a man short, says John Allen. Right, let's do a poll. No, I'm going to. How could we question this? There we go. There's one for you. Yang. I thought Yang was the worst player on the pitch tonight for Celtic. I'd rather have Traffic Cone than Yang and McGregor. That's definitely heard Martin O'Neill chants. Yes, I definitely heard Martin O'Neill chants and Kieran Tierney chants towards the end of the game. Look, it's a game that we had to win. I did say before the game that it would be a game that would be difficult. And it went the way I kind of expected. I did predict 2-0 in the comments before the game. I predicted 2-0 yesterday also. And I thought, yep, it's going to be one of those games. And it was right. Ida has his back to goal far too often. I think there's... let's video a hunt. Lol. We might get... every ex-player's song under the sun got sang tonight. Hopefully Brendan doesn't think that we want Charlie Mulgrew back. Oh Jesus, that's good. That's good that happened tonight, and I'm glad that the Celtic fans have a little bit of they know how to get under the skin of the manager, and they know that, you know what, we can sing and whatever we want. Anyway, I did ask the question: how good is Yang for Celtic? Good, 17%. Bad, 30%. Worse than a man down, 27%. Crap, 25%. So yeah, that's interesting. Let's see what the votes come in for that one. It's minus 16 in Govan tonight. Yes, it is minus 16 in Govan. I think I will put the league table back up, and we'll put it right to the top so that it is in front of the team. The team that had Adam and Nico Khun starting the game. Nico Khun, and who all got confused when the game started and Nico Khun was nowhere to be seen, because I did for one. I never thought to go back onto Twitter till about 10 minutes into the game. Let me see what the headlines are saying. Kaiser says, live Brendan press after the game, Baz. Yes. Not on Celtic TV. It won't be on Celtic TV. It never goes live on Celtic TV after the game. And it'll be on YouTube in about 40 minutes time or something. Celtic fans need to get a grip when they think Celtic will win 4 or 5-0, and need to take your green tinted glasses off, says Raymond Ewing. That's true, Raymond. I couldn't see how Celtic, some people thought we would win 4-3, even 3-0. I thought it was going to be a tight game, and it was. Keep this form up and we won't beat Young Boys. Ball control, the amount of clearances it takes. You can't say that. If you look at the way that Dundee United set up, if you've got the team, right, if you've got Dundee United set up in the screen, and there's the middle of the pitch, and there's where Dundee United is set up. Celtic, the wingers were getting down the wing, no problem. Dundee United were giving them that space. When the wingers got down the wing, you would then see a defender go out to the wingers to try and close them down. You then had two guys going out to the wingers. But then you had the majority of the Dundee United team playing in the middle of the pitch like this. And it's hard to break down. That's a well-drilled defensive unit. And that's how they plan to set up for the best part of the game. Celtic obviously scored and they thought they had to change tactics. It is up to Celtic to try and break that down. But it is a system that managers have now brought into play, rather than the low block having a back line of 5 and then maybe a 4 in front. That's what used to happen against Celtic. You know, it was like, get past this back line of 5 and then the 4 in front. And they went, well, do you know what? Celtic were managing to pass the ball through that. Let's compact everyone into the middle of the park, right in the middle of the park, in front of the 16-yard box, get the whole team in there. Give Celtic all the space they want up the middle of the park. Give them the space down the sides. Their wingers aren't that great at putting the ball in. I mean, Dyson Maida's the biggest threat that we've got, and Nico Khun wasn't even playing tonight. So they would have thought, right, you give them all the space that they want down the side of the park. You can't knock Dundee United for playing that way. Ultimately, I said it was going to be one of those games, and don't think it was going to be anything exciting. Football Advice says it's frustrating that there's no excuse for sloppy, crappy passing that they do. Sloppy, crappy passing, Yang for one. Luke McCown wasn't at his best tonight. Arne Engels gets man of the match again. Arne Engels, for all the naysayers and all the doubters that saying that Ben, the attendance was embarrassing. How can you say that when Celtic put it out on Celtic TV? What did you expect when it's -4 at a game? -4. Why were you at the game? It was -4 at the game tonight. Celtic were putting it out on Celtic TV for $5.99. You've got travel cost to the game. You've got your food and all the rest of it at the game. Or do you sit in the house on a freezing cold night and pay $5.99 to watch the game? People are going to just vote with their feet and go, bugger that, I'm just going to sit in the house, it's freezing out there tonight. So you always get games like that in the winter. So I mean, it was far too cold, so I'm not buying that one. I've been to games like that before, and it's no fun sitting on those plastic seats when it's -4. It's definitely it's not much fun when it's -4. Trust me. And well, it's a great 3 points at this time of year. If you know, you know. I was there. It was a great 3 points, and at the end of the day, do you know, we're top of the league on 16 points in front. It was the kind of display that I'd be expecting, and especially since Dundee United came to frustrate the living hell out of Celtic. Now, the big worry for me is not the performance on the pitch, it was what happened before the game. And how long is Nico Khun going to be out for? Because if Nico Khun is out for the Champions League games, you can kiss goodbye to the playoff, if you ask me. And Nico Khun's a player that we will need for the playoffs. If we go into the remaining 2 games of the Champions League with Nico Khun out injured, our dreams of getting to the last 16 are over before we've even played those 2 remaining games. And I'd even go as far as saying that if progressing in the Scottish Cup may be an issue, because Yang is not the answer. Yang is not the answer. Dan Cassie says, why would I say that again? It's me, boys and girls. Danny, just Glasgow Green and White says, hail, hail, decent turnout considering the weather. Exactly. Plus Celtic doing half price for this game. Really stupid comment, right enough. I think it was a crazy comment. I mean, everyone's entitled to their own comment. They are entitled to their own comments. But when you look at the situation, -4, sitting on a plastic seat, you've got to pay. Lots of people travel on buses to see Celtic. A lot of people travel in their car to see Celtic. And then they've got works tomorrow morning, right? And I think that you put all that into it, and you've got a lot of games this month. It's not as if there's not an abundance of games this January. This January we've got a couple of Champions League games coming up. People will go to that in their numbers, a midweek game, and they'll fill out Celtic Park for that. There's an away game for the Champions League. Celtic fans have already booked up in their thousands to go down to Birmingham for that. So, and you've got people that have tickets are well within their right to say, I'm not sitting in -4 and then paying over the odds for a bloody Bovril at Celtic Park and a pie that's fucking terrible and a pizza that's overpriced. When I could get a chinky, I can get a couple of beers, sit in the house, pay $4.99, $5.99 to watch it on Celtic TV, and Bob's your uncle. There we go. Anyway, Boy67 says, Khun would be man-marked. Yes, in the Champions League, so we need to think of new tactics to cut through teams. You're not going to have, Boy67, the tactics will not be the same as what Dundee United employed. The teams will not, in Europe, teams will not play with a compact defence and midfield sitting right in front of their box. It's not the European style. Motherwell play like that. Dundee United have played like that. They play like that to try and stop Celtic from scoring goals and ultimately trying to get a draw at best. At best, they're trying to get a draw. They know that there's not much chance of them breaking it. Look, if you listen to Dundee United's commentary in the first half, it was actually comical because the Dundee United commentary were saying they were actually counting how many touches that Kasper Schmeichel had of the ball. And it was 4 back passes. 40 minutes into the game, and the Dundee United commentator turned around and says, that's pass number 4. That's touch number 4 for Schmeichel. Another commentator says, yeah, back pass. They seen the funny side of it. And it is what it is. Kaiser says it's -16. The water in my toilet is frozen. The Huns are dying of thirst out there. Jim McClarty says, hi Stephen Johnson, how are you? You can't take kids to a game in -4. No, you can't. You can't. And that's and especially on a school night. You're not dragging the kids out to watch the game on a school night and they're sitting there freezing their arse off. Remember Billy Bear's ham? Oh, the Huns are a slice of shite. Or a slice of ham. What the fuck? Says Jack Ryan. Anyway, is it to really be that cold? Is it really to be that cold? Yes, it was -4 before the game. Celtic TV said it was -4. Celtic TV, before the game started, said it was -4 at Celtic Park before kickoff. They said it was -4 before kickoff. So anyway, it was a victory. At the end of the day, it's a clean sheet again for Kasper Schmeichel. He did manage to get a clean sheet again, which is fantastic for him. And ultimately, when you look at the stats, we had 19 shots in total. We had 6 on target. Possession-wise, we had 77%. Passes, we had almost 230 passes more in this game than we did our previous game. We had 802 passes in this game. Pass accuracy was up to 89%. I think it was at 83 the last game. And fouls, we committed 12 fouls. There was no yellow cards, no red cards. We were offside twice. And we had 12 corners. Ultimately, the question should be, we should be scoring more from corners. When you see the amount of corners that Celtic do have on an ongoing basis, the fact that... I've got to sneeze. The fact that we don't score enough from corners, you've got to say, Austin Trusty, really unlucky. Austin Trusty thought he'd put one in the back of the net from a corner, but it just comes off the top of the crossbar. Should he have done better? Should Austin Trusty have done better? The fact is that he gets it there, and he's there and thereabout. And people are saying about Adam Ida. Adam Ida was getting ragdolled all about. Every time we had a corner, Adam Ida's getting pulled by the shirt and ragdolled all over the place. Anyway, I'm trying to read through some of the comments. I'm just seeing some of Football Life. Honestly, I bet we were stuck with Yang for the rest of the season. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that we're stuck with Yang till the end of the season. For goodness sakes. I'm going to jump on. Because do they usually do a live? I'm trying to find it. If anybody goes live. No. They do a recorded video, don't they? No. We're going to have to wait till Celtic puts something out on the Celtic YouTube channel, which is usually around about 25 minutes after the game or something, isn't it? 25-30 minutes after the game before Celtic put anything out on their YouTube page. Let's see what the headlines are saying here. BBC pundit brutally honest on verdict on Yang's performance as Celtic beat Dundee United. Wonder what the brutally honest. I mean, Yang he wasn't good. There's no way. There's no way that you could say that it was good. Yang's performance. It's just, it wasn't. Is this? Alan Preston says that that Yang played like a man who's really short of confidence. He couldn't get past a player. He was poor on the ball and he couldn't get past a player. He's a very, very poor man's Nico Khun. Anyway, let's see what the votes are doing. 165 votes. And how good is Yang for Celtic? Good, 28%. Bad, 34%. Worse than a man down, 19%. And crap, 19%. It's more for fun. Well done, every one of you Celtic fans who attended. Thank you. Yes, a big shout out to every Celtic fan that did attend that freezing cold game. The fact that Khun will be out for ages, just watch, it's pathetic. Football is life. I think that he caught it early enough. I think that feeling the tightness in his thigh, the pictures that Celtic TV put on at half time, you could see Khun in the warm-up rubbing his thigh, and he's thinking, that's not right, that's a bit tight. The muscle's a bit tight. So, one day half, they said it was -7. When you look at it, it was the right decision by the Celtic staff to not play Khun, because if he's even got a slight tweak in that during the game, I mean, he could have played the game and he could have said, do you know what, it's going to be okay. But Khun as well, Khun's thinking, I don't want to get injured when I'm the one to pull this muscle when it's -4 at Celtic Park, when he knows that Celtic have got Champions League games coming up, and if he goes off injured now, he misses the Champions League games. This is the games that Khun wants to play in. If Khun's got any aspirations to move on for Celtic to a bigger, he wants to be doing it at the highest level. So I think it was good precaution by Celtic to pull Khun off and make sure that he didn't play the game tonight. Maida and Hatate send Celtic further clear in the Scottish Premiership. Dundee United were beaten by Celtic 2-0 tonight as Dyson Maida and Rio Hatate strike to send Celtic 16 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership. They did do that. Dyson Maida obviously opening the scoreline, and Rio Hatate scoring a nice goal just inside the edge of the ball. Austin Trusty hit the bar, and you've got to say, Dundee United didn't really worry Celtic at all. Brendan Rodgers was keen to avoid a repeat of the goalless draw in Tannadice 17 days ago, and it went with the same starting 11 as the victory against St Mirren, with Yang drafted in just before kick-off because of Nico Khun. It was a dominant first half by Celtic. You've got to say it was dominant on a freezing cold night. The visitors had chances late on into the game, as you always expect people that come to Celtic Park to have a couple of shots on goal. And you've got to say, if it wasn't for Kasper Schmeichel, you never know, they might have got one in at the end. Kaiser's drink-along rule, they are now named the one Celtic fans view professional drinkers sesh. Did he say that? Jesus God. You've got to take the yin with the yang, says Willie Larson. I'd rather take a Khun than a Yang. That didn't sound right. Too early for the Here We Go for 10 in a row. Is it too early? Is it too early for the Here We Go 10 in a row songs? Since they were getting all the old songbook out tonight. Kieran Tierney chant back tonight. Yes, as was the Martin O'Neill. I heard that one on the telly. The commentator says when Taylor cleared the ball from the corner, surprisingly. Mind the postponed games last season. 1-1 in Dundee tomorrow. That'd be hilarious if they Hun alert. Is there a Hun in the building? I don't care if there is. There can't be. If there is, they subscribe to the channel. What's the stats for the goals to corners ratio for the last 2 years? Terrible stats. Not even just Stephen. Not even the last 2 years. If you look under Ange Postecoglou, the stats for the ratio between corners and goals were terrible for Ange Postecoglou. Terrible for Ange Postecoglou. Over 400,000 raised for the Celtic Foundation. Truly amazing Celtic support. Palmer pulled out of 50-50, FUD pad, said Keith Robertson. English due adverse weather conditions not to travel. Scott's been told to put a big jacket on, lol. Dan Cassie says it's not that early for 10 in a row. Of course it's not, it's never too early for 10 in a row. Not enough shots, nowhere near Celtic threatened, however. The Green Brigade were rubber-eared with their childish nonsense. Did anybody else think that Brendan Rodgers looked pissed off in his interview? I've not seen his interview after the game. Was he on Celtic TV? Yang is Celtic worst player now. Deadwood, get rid, says Boyfie Benny Offer. Boyfie Benny Offer says 2-1 would have been more hilarious. Yeah, would have. My favourite channel is Baby Bass channel. Is the wee Baby Bass channel? What the fuck? I wonder if Rodgers will start whining about the Martin O'Neill chance. That would be hilarious if he even comments on it. I think that Brendan would be well advised to not even comment on what is ultimately getting sung from the stands. Because let's face it, it was just to wind them up more than anything. And that's what they do. That's what Celtic fans... Listen, Celtic fans used to sing the old... oh, fuck, it's gone for me now. Stuart Ramsey says, aye, Celtic TV buzz. Damn, I missed it because it came through here. That's surprising that it gets. That's because the pay-per-view, wasn't it? Pay-per-view. Yang is better than Palmer. Wow, that's a. I think there's a poll for you. Let's end this one. There's a new poll for you. Let's see who's the better player. Palma. Oh, where is it? Oh shit, pressed the wrong page. There you go, just for fun. Who's the better player? Yang, Palma, or Mama? Who is the better player? Yang, Palma, or Mama? Simple question. Who is the better player for Celtic? Yang, Palma, or Mama? Yeah. Palma and Yang are both rotten, says Parkhead the boy. Yep, I wonder if the fans will sing Ronnie Dial at the next game. That would be hilarious. I think if they all start doing the Ronnie Roar, that would be even better. I heard them singing the Effie Ambrose Ballon d'Or. That's even better. And at least they know that that was it. Celtic fans always look on the bright side of life. Even during the 1990s, when Celtic were absolutely woeful and had some woeful managers, the Celtic fans sang, "We always look on the bright side of life." When things weren't going so good, Celtic fans seen the funny side of the game. Now, if Brendan Rodgers can't missed out my granny. I'll put my granny on the next one. Who's the better player, Yang, Palma, or Mama? Simple question. These grapes I'm eating are crap, says Carly. Jesus. Why do you think Kyogo? Do you think Kyogo will be sold to America? No. Scott, I do not think that Kyogo will be sold. Why would we sell Kyogo when we need to bring in a striker? It's absolutely ludicrous to think that we would. Come on, Baz, stop acting like Keith Stam. I tell that Baz boy Celtic are fish. Oh, Jesus. I'm sure the truth teller's a Hun. Is the truth teller a Hun? I think he is, isn't he? Anyway, enough of that nonsense for tonight. Is your mum a winger, Baz? She was a winger, alright. She won it for years. Palmer should never be wearing the number 7 shirt. I asked on Twitter. I did ask on Twitter who was, is there a worst number 7 that we've ever had? And someone did say, yep, Chiefty. You remember him? Chiefty. And I was like, fine, yeah, I forgot all about him. But anyway, let's get back to Celtic and see what Celtic haven't put anything out on their social medias as yet when it comes to Brendan Rodgers. There'll be nothing on Sky because there was no Sky television there tonight. Celtic extend the lead at the top of the table. Kilmarnock and Motherwell draw. Interesting times from them. And then they've got an interview by fucking Darth Vader. Who cares? Celtic headlines. Dyson Maeda and Rio Hatate on target as leaders Celtic see off Dundee United. Celtic fans go nostalgic with response to Brendan Rodgers. That's the media have picked up on the Celtic fan base. It's saying that the goals from Dyson Maeda, Rio Hatate sent Celtic 16 points ahead of Rangers in the William Hill Premiership as the champions beat Dundee United in a nostalgic tangled night at Celtic Park. Maeda netted on the rebound midway through the utterly one-sided first half at Celtic Park. Yeah, the one-sided first half at Celtic Park. And then increased their lead, at least until the Rangers face Dundee Dundee tomorrow up in Dens Park. Celtic supporters who braved the temperatures of -5 during the game in Glasgow had any tensions as United proved hard to fully shake through a more competitive second period before Hatate killed the game off in the 83rd minute. Celtic fans did then start singing various songs from a bygone era. Bygone era. The reason Nico Khun dropped out the Celtic lineups before confirmed. Let me just jump on this one. Nico Khun dropped out of the... Why is there fucking too many adverts on this? Nico Khun dropped out the Celtic lineup due to an ankle injury. Strange one. When he was pictured rubbing his thigh. Brendan Rodgers confirmed that the winger had an issue. Who writes this? Oh, they've just changed it. Oh, they must have been writing it, and they must have been working on it right then, because they've just updated the page. Oh, Jesus. Amazing how they can manage that. Brendan Rodgers has confirmed the winger felt an issue at the top of his thigh. That's what I said, the thigh issue. Brendan Rodgers just explained on Celtic TV. There we go. Let's just hope that he is not out for too long. As your Mo Winger Baz says, one comment. Don't be disrespectful to your Mo Baz. I'm not. She'd be like that. She'd be loving the attention. She'd be like, oh God, what's he talking about now? But then again, you should never compare them to Palma and Yang. Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying there. Let's finish that poll off because it was just purely for laughs. That no, 50 million. What? Oh, Jesus. Baltic out there. I'm glad Hatate got a goal and build his confidence again. Yeah, he was dropped out. How do you feel that Luke McCowan did tonight? I thought it was Luke McCowan had not one of his better performances. He was completely outshone by Arne Engels. All the everyone that said that Arne Engels. How do you feel about Arne Engels now? Because there was a lot of people on the channel who said that Arne Engels isn't worth it. He's not worth the money. I said that Arne Engels will come good as a player. I think it's the second game in a row where he's been man of the match, and you're thinking it's no hard to be man of the match when Celtic are poor, as some people may say. But Arne Engels did outshine all the other Celtic players today. Sevgo Scout spotted at Linlithgow Rose game. Ooh, Engels is brilliant. I like him, says Convo UFC. Taylor was excellent tonight, says Chow Pal. Is your Mo Irish, Baz? No, my dad is. My dad's got the Irish side of the family, not my mother. Luke was trying too hard tonight. Yeah, he was. It was. Luke kept passing to Yang, and Yang did, yeah. So it's not Luke's fault, really. Yep, boy for Benny offer. I totally get that. Yang's inability to take a player on the wing. There was even times where Alistair Johnston was telling Yang what he was wanting him to do, and Yang was just taking the ball and then passing it back to Alistair Johnston. Yeah, Alistair Johnston's wanting him to start running up the pitch before he kicks the ball. And he's like, no, get it to my feet. Yang's saying to me, give it to my feet. Play it to my feet. And then he passes it straight back to him. Arne Engels is worth 11 million because of his age and potential. He's also a very good player for this league, says Ben Kearney. Korovo, 100%, he's all right. What? Carly? I thought AJ stopped passing it to Yang. Yes, I would stop passing it to Yang as well. And I'm surprised that Brendan Rodgers. I mean, how bad must you be to get yanked off the pitch and replaced by a midfield player? Not a winger. He wasn't replaced by a winger. He wasn't replaced by Palmer, because you could have swapped sides with Palmer and Dyson Myra, but the fact that he got yanked off, he was woeful. Kaiser says, I thought we did great tonight, Baz, in the cold conditions, with Khun dropping out just before the game. Shows you how we've become over-reliant we are on him. It's not just him. I think that the squad does need a little bit of refreshing, and it's shown it tonight that the depth that we have in the squad isn't top level. It's fine for the league, but when we go into European competitions, I think if we were to go into the Champions League with this same squad next year, although they would be a little bit older and have that year's experience, I do think that we need a little bit of more. We need a Lubo Moravcik type player. We need someone that can turn something on. I mean, it's okay having Dyson that can go down the wings and get the odd cross ball in. It's alright having Nico Khun on the other wing and being able to get balls in. But when you've got the midfield, there's just something missing from the midfield. The players that we've got in midfield are fantastic. Luke McCowan passing to Yang and Yang doing nothing with it was maybe Luke McCowan's downfall tonight, and trying to pass it to Yang too much. Anyway, we badly need players on the in the door of this window, says Paul. Yes, we do. And it just shows you it's okay having the depth of squad that we have. Now, Brendan Rodgers brought the size of the squad down. He got rid of a lot of the junk that was in the squad. But when you look at it, quality-wise, I mean, we really struggled tonight. We really did struggle tonight against a dogged Dundee United team. Send Yankee Shearns and Cattrall subbed in the toilet. It would definitely make him go faster when he came back out anyway, and he'd go past players alright. Oh my god, I hope nobody for Shearns is watching this. They'll be at the pub. I don't think Rodgers played. I think that Brendan Rodgers played a blinder for once. Talking about Rangers losing. They never talk about how Celtic are. Ian says the players are getting tired now. It's a long season. They shouldn't be getting tired now, though. This is what Brendan Rodgers calls Celtic time. We're getting into that point of the season where Brendan Rodgers said last season, this is the Celtic time. This is when you ramp it up. Celtic have got one hand on the championship. We're 16 points clear at the top of the table tonight. It's not a case of we're going through the tunnel for the end of the season and we see the light at the end of the tunnel no more. We've got the cigar out. We've got the cigar out. Do you know, when you look back to, there was a picture of Joe Hart last season when he was leaning against the goalpost and Joe Hart was sitting with a cigar in his mouth. But you've got to say, we've got a keeper that will be doing the same. He's thinking, I'm counting down. Celtic fans will almost be at the stage where we are now starting to count down and predict what game it will be that we win the league. And quite rightly so. Being 16 points in front isn't for everyone, and it's not been an easy season. You know, you have to play what's in front of you. We've dropped points on one game. We've lost one game all season. People need to, you know, it's been a good season so far. It has been a good season so far, and I don't think that the players should be getting tired. I think that the players need to start manning up and get into Celtic time. Scott says we need a hard man in the midfield. Kalmak's not a Bruni. Kalmak, for me, played okay tonight. Kalmak bossed about that midfield. You know, he was shouting until he's not. I know what you mean by he's not a Bruni, but he's a player that reads the game, and he's a player that can read the game inside out. And you notice when he's not playing. Think back to earlier in the season when we had Kalmak out for a couple of games. When is McCarthy and Bain getting their chance? When are McCarthy and Bain getting their chance? Anyway, Spurs beat Liverpool 1-0 tonight, did they? Well, that's interesting considering Spurs had a player went off injured. Shows you how bad Liverpool are. Paul Baird had a cigar out before the ball was kicked tonight. Paul Baird knows that even though we're 16 points, it is a superb place for us to be. Baz, McGregor too defensive. He doesn't go forward. Yes, he does. He's probably one of the only the holding midfield players that we have that does go forward. Anybody else that plays in Callum Mack's position passes to side to side. Callum Mack will get the ball for the defenders and he'll turn around and go forward to it, or a diagonal pass. Anyway, who's just done the fiver? Sound Phonetics, have one on me, Baz. £5. I've got a couple of pints for that out here. Thank you, Sound Phonetic. Absolutely fantastic for that super chat. Anyway, Kaiser says, let's just jumped away up. We need some fresh faces. If we maintain the 16-point gap, I would give the entire first team a week off holiday to prep for the young boys game. I think that there will be changes. There will be changes in the next couple of games coming up. Calmark commands the team. He's top notch, says Boy from Alpha. Yep, that's the way I see it. Without Calmark, we are terrible. Without the prowess of Calmark, we're terrible in that midfield. People won't understand how good Calmark was as a player until he leaves Celtic. When Calmark hangs up his boots and we're scrambling around trying to get a long-term replacement in that midfield, people won't understand just really how good Calmark has been over his career for Celtic. And the fact that he was in the same team as a certain English player and he outperformed thus said English player and he was better than him altogether. I think that Calmark could have went to any team he wanted down in England and he would be he would have been a star down there. But he loves Celtic through and through. He's like me and you. He loves the Celtic through and through. And I honestly think that people will not really admit to how good Callum McGregor was or is as a player and how he reads the game and how he manages the game. Callum McGregor gives you a lot more on the pitch. He might come across as a player that he breaks up the play, right? He can break up the play. He can make defensive tackles quite easily. He also, when he's going forward, he's also doing a lot of talking and telling people where to go in the ball. For me, Greg Taylor was a bit of a loose cannon today. I mean, Greg Taylor, I don't think anybody knows what position Greg Taylor's actually meant to play in. Let's be fair. Let's get it back onto Greg Taylor quick. Danny Cassie says, oh well, I'm just after saying, that Palmer should have started. Palmer should have started? Jesus. He's on a drink. I think McGregor, Hatate, McCowan, Engels, too defensive. We need an attacking midfielder like Alan Thompson. Alan Thompson was a winger. So he wasn't really a midfield player. Tomo was a winger all day long. So Tomo, the current version of Tomo, you would say was Dyson Maeda. So we need a Petrov type player. We need I would even say a Paul Lambert going forward. Celtic TV is rubbish. McGregor is far better player than Bruni in my opinion. There's a poll for you, Baz. Well, that's not a poll because they're both legends. And plus I'm Bruni all day long because he's a Fifer. And the way that Bruni as a player completely changed under Gordon Strachan. When he came to Celtic, Bruni was a headless chicken. Bruni he was a box-to-box midfield player and he would run. He was like a Scottish version of Dyson Maeda in the middle of the park in his earlier years. And Gordon Strachan pulled him to the side and said, I want you to master the holding midfield position. I want you to master what's going on in a game. I'm going to teach you everything that I know about how to control a game of football for this holding midfield position. And Bruni went on to have a fantastic... I can remember when Brendan Rodgers came into the team and everybody said, Bruni's legs are gone. That's it. Bruni will be away. Brendan Rodgers will not have Bruni in the team. And look what happened to Bruni. He went on to lift a 9 in a row for Celtic. Absolute legend. Calmark came through the system. That's the only two differences for the players. Calmark came through the system. He's always wanted to play for us. Bruni is one of us. He will always be one of us. But trying to put a comparison to the two of them, I can't see it. Who's better player, Callum or Paul McStay, Peter Grant or John Collins? Oh God, that's one for you. Peter Grant's obviously the worst player out of that lot, surely. I mean, John Collins for his free kicks. John Collins for his free kicks all day long. Paul McStay for what he did in the middle of the park. Going forward, Paul McStay wasn't really a holding midfield player. He was more attacking. Peter Grant was your holding midfield player. Callum's way better than Peter Grant. Potts provider for me. Bruni was God-given gift to Celtic. Who replaces Calmack as captain? If anything, we need an Andy Tom type player. Yeah, we do. It's Tom, he's Andy Tom. Imagine a striker like Bobo Baldi. Paul McStay's family members met in Lurgan, nice family, you know that. Bruni all day long says something today. Interesting. We won fuck all, but there's the best to watch. Taylor out says Boltbeard now. Paul McStay is the answer to any comparison. Yes, it is. It has to be, isn't it? Paul McStay has to be the answer to any question. And Celtic have still put nothing out on their... I don't even know if they will put it out on YouTube after him being on Celtic TV, if he's on Celtic TV. Because it's half an hour after the game now. Because Brendan Rodgers will now be in the interviews. Arne Engels makes notable Celtic impression. The hard work is paying off for him. Manager was thoroughly deserved. The Celtic manager has spoken as Brendan Rodgers watched his side produce a dominant performance to beat third place Dundee United 2-0 at Paradise, thanks to goals from Dyson Maeda and Rio Hatate. The result puts Celtic 16 points clear at the top of the Premiership table. Celtic manager was delighted with his team's display. It also gave the league leaders a win against a side had just managed to hold them to a goalless draw at Tannadice just before Christmas. Speaking to Celtic TV, Brendan Rodgers said it was a very good win for us. We were excellent in the first half. We got a goal, but we didn't quite capitalise on that. The second half, towards the last period of the game, when you put yourself in a position that you should be in. When it's 1-0, you maybe have taken your chances. Their keeper made some really good saves. But we weathered a little bit of pressure that always comes at the end of the games. But we got the second goal, and obviously we thoroughly deserved it. So it was a good 3 points. To be able to deal with that as a team, no matter how dominant you are as a team, there's going to be little spells where you have to defend, long throw-in balls into the box. So the players did that very, very well, and we were deserving winners, said Brendan Rodgers. Then the manager went on to praise Arne Engels, who has produced another strong performance in the heart of Celtic midfield. He said, Arne's working very hard now in the flow of how we work and how we play. His hard work is paying off, and I am delighted for him, says the Celtic manager. And that is all. Celtic TV still haven't put anything else out. Brendan Rodgers provides update on Nico Khun. We've done that one. It's well knew it was a thigh strain because it was pretty much confirmed. Anyway, let me just check this. The league. God, I've been on for 53 minutes. How did that happen? 53 minutes and Celtic have still put nothing out on to their social media. With interview-wise, they're waiting for me to come off. Anyway, McStay all day long. Thoughts on the game. Let's finish up with some more of the comments. There's been 2,138 people on. Petition for Baz to grow hair. Shave it off. I don't like it. I don't like it. I thought either CCV or Trusty was man of the match. Engels gets away with stuff no other player would. Silly fouls, poor shouting. Interesting. Yang's and a poor man's Anton Rogan. McStay and Colin passed the buck. He wasn't an attacking midfield player. Who are you talking about? Boy from Benner says, bring back Pierre, strength up front. Well, that's why we brought in Adam Ida, to have that strength up front. And it works to an extent, but the difference between Adam Ida and Big Pierre is Big Pierre had another striker to play off. When you're playing a striker for Celtic and you've only got one, you're only in there yourself, there's not. Wee Luke was class, he falls back, and he's the next one who's going to get a long-term takeover for Kalmack. I don't think he's captain material though. Anyway, that's me done and dusted for this evening. Celtic still haven't put anything up on their socials. I suppose that'll give me something to talk about tomorrow morning. Anyway, Celtic run out winners again. We are top of the league and we are sitting nice on 56 points. The second team placed, the Rangers, Safeco, are sitting on 40 points. It's minus 16 in Glasgow tonight. Make sure you wrap it warm, Safecoians, because it is damn cold out there. Celtic, sit back, have a little glass, have a drink, light up a cigar. The end of the season is in sight. The date when we become champions, people will now sit down and they'll look at the fixtures and they'll start predicting games when Celtic can win the league. We've won the league again. We'll shortly be singing in at Celtic Park and every away ground around Scotland as Celtic close in on their 55th championship. Yes, Celtic are going for 55. They've already got one competition in the bag this season already. They're on course for a double. Ultimately, can Celtic end the season with a treble? Well, mine was only a double tonight. Next one's a treble though. Have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans all around the world.
Lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the lit. Roll up to the